there is a there is a register functionality in a page where there are some fields and there is a submit button. So this is
in integration testing, you explained very nicely. And what I liked about this was you gave a very good example as well. Okay, so whenever you are trying to say any kind of, questions asked to you, say related to your any of the questions like integration testing, smoke testing. So always try to give some kind of live example so that the interviewer will come to know that you have actually worked on it. When you give a valid examples, it becomes more clear for him as well. Okay. So it was good.
This is one whether the complete data is storing is end-to-end testing. We have to check the all functionalities of the application. And this testing is done after the unit and integration testing.
Then what is acceptance testing and how it is different from system testing?
Sir, acceptance testing is a typical last step of the testing, and this testing was done at the client place. The main factor of the main purpose of doing this testing is to find the defect before it delivered to the customer or before it goes into the production. And whereas in system testing, this testing is
now when you say this kind of things like it is like finding the defects or bugs before it is gone to the production. So in system testing also we find the defects only, right? But in acceptance testing, what it has been done, it is directly the partners or our business partners or our end users, end customers, a group of end users who are going to test it according to the huge live data. Okay, and they intend to see that the requirements are meeting whatever requirements were given. Are they meeting those requirements? Are the software which has been going to deliver to them, is it meeting the requirements of it as per their expectations? So that is the acceptance testing. And system testing is just 1 year before the acceptance testing that is done by the testers. And it is intent to test the functionality end to end, to test that our end-to-end workflows are working correctly with no bugs. If they are there, then we just log it and get it fixed.
right.
Okay, and in acceptance testing, it is mainly done by the clients or our business partners or our other teams involved or our support engineers. And there are 2 types of testings over there in acceptance testing. Those also you should tell.
Okay, alpha and beta.
Yes,
right.
yes. Okay, so those type of testing you should say, and you should say that in system testing we try to cover as much as we can. We test with the different black box approaches, boundary value analysis, equivalence class partitioning, error guessing. This kind of things you should say so that your next question from the interview comes is like, what is the boundary value analysis? What is equivalence class partitioning? So that you are aware now what the next question should be there from the interview. So always try to say only those things so which you are more aware of, so that the interview will come to those only questions which you are aware of. So that the time will be consumed as those questions, and he may forget the very, the questions which might you not be aware of. That can happen. So always try to ride the horse instead of the interviewer riding the horse.
Right. It's done by the tester in
Intent to find the defects, system and acceptance.
Sir, in system we have to check the overall functionality of the application, that the complete application is working as expected.
See, as I told you, the interview will ask you this kind of questions. That is it like only in acceptance testing, it is again you are finding the bugs, in system testing you are not finding the bugs. That should not be the case. Okay, you should explain in such a way that you should not get those kind of reverse back questions on. Okay.
Yes. Or not.
On your application.
Okay, so I'll start with the sanity and smoke testing first to check whether the application is stable in the smoke testing. And after sanity and smoke testing, if there is no documentation, I'll start with the ad hoc testing. That is a informal testing where the main purpose is to find the defects of doing the random testing. And after ad hoc testing, we can also use the pair testing and buddy testing. In pair testing, like two testers are working on the same application uh, to find the defects, and the buddy testing in which one developer and one tester are working together uh, to find the defects in different perspective. There is no clarification of the documents. We can use this testing, or we can also use the monkey testing.
So monkey testing, ad hoc testing, random testing are different or are they same?
Ad hoc, monkey and random. Sir, ad hoc in ad hoc testing, like
So the question was pretty simple. That do they have any difference or the same?
yes,
Because you started explaining, which means that you are explaining the difference.
yes,
But it's just a synonym of each other. Ad hoc is also known as random, is also known as monkey testing. Correct. So
Yes,
it's just the synonyms that have been used. So everything is same. It is used when there is no
the previous question that what are the testing we can perform if we don't have any kind of documents, is that right, like using the ad hoc and monkey
yes, yes, that is correct. That when you don't have a much document is being given to you, so mainly you use that type of testing, because until you get the document, you can just start. Until of just waiting, you can just start with the testing. So you just go to the application and do random testing. Why it is called as random? Because you're not aware of what kind of things are involved or what kind of application it is. Means like what kind of wireframes are been there. So just go to the application, just navigate and try to enter any kind of data and see that it is getting created or added or updated clear in the application. That is just the main purpose of using an ad hoc type of testing.
Random testing is
okay, fine. So can you write a code? Okay, I want to reverse. I'll just paste in chat. I'll just paste the string. Okay, so here the string was given. Okay, and you just wanted to reverse some part of the string. So it is like nowadays it is very much common that the interviewers will play with the string type of coding questions only, because playing with string is very difficult. Okay, because it is the number of characters, or it's an array actually based on the number of characters. So handling string is not that easy. Okay, so they'll always try to give you questions on string itself. So the corrective logic, what you said was appropriate. Okay, not 100% true, not 100% wrong. Okay, the things which you used in the code also, that were correct. That you will first, separate out the words, and then so what is the thing that for first for loop will be there to just identify in each word, do you have ABC, the string which has been mentioned, a substring. So you have to just check that ABC is present on it. Okay, if it is present, then you have to use another loop where it will just check what is the end of that word and it will reverse that. And then you have to just print the whole string. Okay, that was the main logic or the algorithm which you, if the interviewer asks you, you have to tell this logic. That firstly, I'll just traverse the string. I'll check, one loop will be used for just checking that which is the substring present in that whole string. Once that I just found it, I'll just navigate till the end of that word and I'll reverse that. And I'll just print it. Okay, so there are two loops which will be used for doing this.
Sir, is there any other way of doing this?
You can, yes, the interviewers will ask you this kind of questions also, that suppose what can be other concept you can use. So for reversing kind of thing, you can use stack. Okay, stack is what? Stack is like last in, first out, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you will keep on entering the that string, and you will just paste it in the reverse. It will be automatically, when you pop the characters, it will be in the reverse order. So they don't want you exactly code, just they want that you should aware of the data structures, different kind of data structures, what other data structures you can use. So always try to say that I can use stack, I can use directly the str functions which are present over there. So that also increases that, okay, you are a smart player as well, because I didn't told you to exactly go and write the code of reversing. So you can use the str reverse function as well, which already been inbuilt. So which will be like you're a hard as well as smart player.
Okay.
Just reverse it, whole string should get reversed. Is that a word which is present? Understanding of the code, and whenever you sit for an interview, always keep open your Eclipse. Or if you're asking, should I write in an Eclipse? So you should always be ready with all those softwares, if at all, because the interview will not say, tell you to write over. It might, the interviewers sometimes will give you a link where you navigate, and you can just see your screen, and you can write the code over there. You can directly run that code from their machine. It's in some links will be given, or randomly they can ask you. So always, if you are to open the Eclipse already, keep open the Eclipse and keep and run over there, or you can directly use the URLs which we used, which are like JDBC online, JDBC, compiler. So that will also help, or you can write in a notepad also, because the interview is mainly concerned that what kind of logic you are using. So always try to give him, and if you are taking long time, he will ask you for the logic only. So always try to give him the correct logic at least, so that you can be selected. Okay, try to give him the logic or what you are exactly thinking. Even if you are not able to implement, that is the different thing. But at least your approach for looking at that code should be correct. Okay, or for execution part, mainly what happens, many of the persons have the logic that suppose if I want to traverse in a string, so how to traverse, that everybody knows. But when it given for writing purpose, I can write and give you 80% of the people will fail and 20% of the people will pass. So only 20% of the people gets job in automation. No. They see the logic. Okay, so you have to specify the logic in the corrective measures. Once you say that, you will be selected for sure. Okay. It starts with AB.
Yeah, it takes time.
You can just do it. Write A, B, C, C, C. So here, if you are writing something like this, char is equal to str to char array and all, so you should now you were able to explain also very correctly. So that was a good point. Okay, it should be there that if you are writing something different, that what is that used for? So you should be able to explain also that in the text, that what kind of things you used, why it has been used, what is its purpose. So that was a good thing. Okay.
To do like on a particular level.
Okay.
And then I'll print the whole string. Postman sir is a collaboration platform for the API's development.
It is for the development or for the testing?
So for both.
Yeah. So for development mainly, it is not that much used, but it is mainly for doing a testing the APIs. Okay, it is used for mainly for doing a testing of the APIs that have been built. But so now why you need to do a
if question is asked like for what purposes it is used, then we can say like it is used for development but mainly it is used for the testing.
Testing, yes. You should mention like that. Okay. So it is mainly for the testing purpose. Now, why API testing is required? This may be your next question. Okay. So why API testing is much required is just because of the more it gives you to test from the code perspective only, that the from backend also or from the code level is all validations have been done correctly. How to test that? It is just with the help of the error codes.
Yes, yes.
Like 200 gives you the success message. 201 gives you the updations, if any kind of updations are there. Okay, 400 the page is not found or the URL is not found. Okay, 500 server errors. So there are some specific error codes which have been given to just specify or to just test that the application or the postman is able to access the APIs in the correct way. Okay, and then for that also we have some validations, like that is called as a small automation. Like suppose if I want to verify that the code has been given, so that by just running that API, I can get the other outputs also, that what kind of error code it is given. So we just verify that the error code, okay, it should provide this error code. If it is not, then the script is failing or the API is failing. So that also we can do with the test. There is a test option in the Postman where you try to, or you get all the outputs.
Yes.
Correct? Or you just validate the things. So that were the questions that you have to say, that what kind of validations you have used over that. Okay. So there are a lot of predefined things or the functions you can use to validate the code and all those things. Okay. So that you need to say what exactly we used. And whenever you are there, try to see that there is no phone around you. If it is there, please make it into earlier only just silent the phone, because it gives a bad impression.
And it is about the Google Map APIs. So we have to like we have got the whole base URL resources and what are the method to be used. So there is a
see here at the start what confidence you had, and can you see here the confidence level?
Yes.
You yourself can feel it, right? That the high which you had at the earlier stages, it is like visible, that you are somewhat making some kind of things inside. Might be you might be have done that, but when you're saying it is looks like you are just making the things inside.
Actually, sir, this validation question, I seen this and I am also working on this. But when you asked this question, I got a little confused. Is that answer which I read earlier, is that one is correct or not? So there I got puzzled.
Yeah, so that should not happen, right?
Yes, sir.
Even if you are giving wrong answers in interview, they are just seeing at your confidence level. Even if you are wrong, you should say yes, it is correct according to me. Okay, you should not get confused.
Yes, sir.
Interviews is there to confuse you only, to just check how do you react when under. Now this is like normal case. Now how we will check that the pressure? So we'll check with this only, like confusing you, telling you that this is incorrect, even if it is correct. So how do you react? So we come to know that how you will handle pressure in our team. Yes. That also the interview will check.
Script which I got, which I have to for posting, like for like there is a coordination with.
So you have not done any kind of validation, so right?
No, sir.
See, immediately the interview came to know that you have not done validations, and you also agreed, yes, I have not.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
I did, sir.
So
I did.
Yeah, you have done. I have seen, because we did it together. But still, you said no, I have not done. Yes. Okay, this should not happen. Your confidence level What was that the initial null that should be remain till the end of the interview?
Yeah, sir. After this API round, my confidence is little high,
Yes.
but in between, it's gone down.
Yes, yes, that's for sure. Okay, fine. From me, the last question, like while working on the OpenCart application, of course, you might have found some of the defects. So what kind of defects did you found and how did you tackle it? So did you understand the question first time?
What are the bugs which I found in that project, the application
Correct.
which I am working on, and
Correct.
what should I done with that?
Yeah. So how did you tackle it? Like tackle means how did you convey it to the higher management, or what was the process that you used?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So first of all, you should be very clear with the project. Okay, that is an OpenCart application. So have you ever went and seen the OpenCart application? And I'm sure you have seen it. Correct. So in that terms, you can see anything, right? The account sections you might be remembering. You might remember the change password functionality. You might remember the download extensions. There are not many things that we learned or that we had viewed. You can say, see, they are not coming and gonna see because it was like your development team, like the local code was given to you for testing. So they don't know what kind of testing or what kind of application is now. It is the same amount. Yeah. You have to, even if you have not worked on it, you have to buy your own things. You have to create those defects. Like I found store stopper defect. Like whenever I was editing the account, it was not getting edited. So that was my store stopper defects. So after that, I changed. I seen lot of things were getting changed. Where I was just editing the country name or just giving it blank on the edit screen and just saving it. It was not giving any, it was not saving, nor it was giving any error messages. There were some things where the validations were incorrect. When my username is incorrect, it was saying that the password is incorrect. So I asked so I raised the issues. I gave the proof with I always try to give the screenshot, I attach the screenshots. I give the acceptance criteria ID so that the developer can easily navigate to the acceptance or the requirement that was given. According to that, he can change the things appropriately. So those kind of things I do. And that is very much important. Whenever we log a bug, you have to give the evidence that, yeah, this is a bug. And according to what evidence, you have to attach the screenshot. You should attach a small video. You can attach the acceptance criteria which was told to you. All those kind of things you have to do.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
So it will not redirect to another page. Like it's wrong, so it will not redirect to the other page. But it is not also shows the error on the screen that the username or ID is wrong. So that is a defect which I found, and for that, what I use the troubleshooting options. I use the network tabs where.
See, now when you're saying that you use the troubleshooting kind of thing, so there are a lot of questions you will encourage the interviewer to ask. Okay, when you say troubleshooting, it is a very big module that you say about troubleshooting. There are 5 types of it. Okay, and if they ask you to explain, I'm sure you will not be able to explain.
I think 3 of these I know, like network tabs, console, and application logs.
Yes. Yeah. So where do you find the logs?
I don't have the access for that. Like the developer have the access. Like.
So then, how you will do debugging? You're saying you did debugging, right? If you don't have access to the logs, then how you will do?
We can provide the timestamp for that.
Yeah.
to the
So
developer.
what happens? No, it's not that key you don't have access. Many times you will have the access for the logs as well. Okay, so in some drive, the logs will be there. So if you just navigate to those drives and you can get the logs and you can just see according to the timestamp, you can just see it. Okay, so it might be you will be introducing a lot of questions from the interviewer.
Yes.
So when you talk about troubleshooting, and try to say that I also tried to verify those kind of things. Are they what kind of error codes I'm getting? So I just navigated to the network tab and I saw that what kind of error code it has been getting. And I just dropped it to the developer so that he can easily find what is going wrong in that function. That
I found like that after that you click on the login and page that cart items are like we have added 3 items, and when we refresh the page, the cart item is counted as 0. So that is also found it has a bug.
So this was good one. Okay.
Great, Rajat.
When you said that you have to add the cart was was given to you, and when you just added it and just refreshed, it was 0. This is a valid kind of bug that you found. Okay, and which when they ask you about the severity and priority for this, so what would be severity and priority for this?
So low, both low.
No
Because
severity or priority?
no, it's low. Low means it is not creating any major breakdown to the application. The application is still working fine. So severity is low.
1 minute. When you added in the cart and you just refresh the page, the items are shown as 0.
Yes, sir.
So it will be low severity.
Then in that case, no one will be able to buy that item.
Yeah.
Means conclusion is that the site will be like no of use.
Of no use. Yeah.
That is
Because you will not be able to add the items in the cart, so you will not be able to process with the checkout process.
No, sir.
So no checkout.
The bug is what I found is that when a user clicks on that refresh button, at that time, whatever items we are added in the cart, it will become 0. But when we add the item in the cart and then we click on proceed to checkout button, it will redirect to the other checkout button, checkout page. So that is working, but only that refreshing page is not working.
Correct. So even for some, say for some example, if you refresh or by mistake the network is gone and again it reverse automatic, the page get reversed. So at that time, so it is the functionality is breaking, right? How can it be a low severity? Functionality is breaking, right? When you say low severity, when the functionality is not breaking, say the name, the application name, or say your site name or something, just the logo or something is missing or it has been incorrect. That is not breaking your functionality. That time you can say the severity is low. But here the severity is not low. So severity would be medium. Okay. And what will be the priority then?
Priority
will be also medium. Okay.
So I will ask few questions on automation testing. So Rajat, tell me what is a function overriding in Java?
Function overriding. Sorry. Function overriding means the child class which have a.
What happened, Rajat? Overriding सुनते ही एकदम से ऐसे चौंक गए कि अरे क्या?
Actually, sir, there are various type of fields which I have to look like API and then agile, manual, automation, Java.
Yes. तो ये होने वाला है. It is gonna happen. Because there are a lot of, that's what I told you, when you are going through surfing, learning new things, understanding it will be, you have a great scope. Now it's up to you that how much you have to collect from it. Okay, and if you try to mug up the things, you will always fail. Okay, you have to understand it, correlate it with the real example. You will 100% you will succeed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is overriding? Overriding is nothing but the method which is declared. Okay, the parent class, the same is been, the same method should be there.
Yes, sir.
That is
I
called as
also
overriding.
replied the same.
Yeah. So for example, if you take an example of a shape, okay, so the area that you need to find for a circle, for any square or any circle or anyone, the area would be different, right? To find that or to just draw that. So draw will be the method which will be declared in the shape class, and then you can just override it.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Now, the next question was about abstraction and encapsulation. So according to you, what you mentioned for abstraction was something different.
Method name,
Of using that?
necessity of using that. If
Yes. Pause it here. Yes. Rajat, actually, the example which has been said by Govind sir is, you can say, necessity of means what we say,
Shape.
overriding. Yes,
Yeah.
overriding, necessity of overriding. That is an example of means when we will do overriding. That answer you can tell. Suppose, let's say, for example, there is an shape class, okay, and also shape class as a parent class, then circle and rectangle as a child class. So whenever we will draw shape of circle, then that will be different, right? And for rectangle, that will be different. Then in that case, we are not using same method as like a parent, we are doing some changes into that. So that is necessity. Okay. Okay, Govind, you can continue.
So now it was like abstraction. So yes.
Any returns in Java?
no, sir, we cannot use the multiple inheritance in Java because it will create ambiguity. And for example, there is a class X, and
So this was very well said. Okay, why also you said that why we cannot use, because of the ambiguity. So there was no other question that traced into for this. Okay, because you have given very nice explanation. So this is what is expected. Okay, not only in one question, this should be throughout the interview. If you are trying to explain some kind of thing, give an example. Now here you mentioned very well example that what is an ambiguity. You gave an example of class A, class B, which is in class C is a child function or a child class which is able to inherit the function from both the classes, from A and B. Suppose the names are same. So now the class C will get confused that from which is the function. It is from the class A or B. That is an ambiguity. So that was very well said. So this is what should be there for each and every question that has been asked. Always try to give an examples, okay, which will increase your probability of getting selected. Okay, if now it is say 50-50 ratio, immediately when you start giving example, it will directly change to 70-30. So now it's up to you that you want to go to only 50-50 or 70. Okay.
there is a class Y and Y. I think we can use the interface for that.
Is difference between abstraction and encapsulation?
Abstraction is a process where implementation details are hiding from the user, and only the functionality is shown to the user. In other words, how the application, how the application did is not shown to the user. What it did is shown to the user.
Now in real time, what is abstraction? Collecting some information. Okay. Now say for an example, a person. Okay. A person can have n number of entities, such as he can have his date of birth, time of birth, place of birth, which nakshatra and all those kind of things. Okay. Then he will have the name, pet name, address, local address, permanent address, father's name, mother's name, grandfather's name, which religion he belongs to, what kind of mobile number, how many mobiles he have, mobile numbers, his occupation, his salary, current salary, his current job. This can be a person attributes. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you go to search a girl, you will pick out some specific attributes from the list of attributes, like your date of birth, your place of birth, your occupation, your address, your religion, your subcaste, caste. These all things are required. When you go to an interview, there are some different attributes which will be picked from. Like what is your occupation, what are your primary skills, what are your secondary skills, what are your strengths, weaknesses. This will never asked in your when you go to see a match. Right? That is abstraction. Abstracting or collecting the data that is only relevant data for your component. That is a data abstraction. Correct?
So, sir, I use an example for that. Is that correct for the data abstraction?
It was not accurate. Okay, it was like hiding. So in data abstraction, we do not hide something. In encapsulation, we do that. Correct. In abstraction, we don't hide actually data. We actually collect the relevant data from the set of data that we have. Okay, in encapsulation, we do that. That is like hiding our data into the example which you gave about the class. That was a perfect example for it. Or if you want to give a real-time example, that is very good for, say, your motorbike or even your car. Your engine is directly not exposed to the user.
Yes.
Or the small components of the engines are not directly exposed. So when you apply a brake, there's some mechanism which is happening inside. That is data abstraction. Or sorry, that is encapsulation. Hiding data from the user. Just he knows that this is working, but how it is working, he doesn't have that access. That is encapsulation.
For example, but how it does, what is the procedure and what is the functionality behind some variables in code or not cannot access outside that class.
Yeah. So here you specify some access specifiers. Correct.
Yes.
Like public, protected, and all. So here there was a question which was asked for, say, default, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So now did you go through it? What is the default?
Yes, sir, the method which do not have any name. We can use in across all the packages.
Correct.
For example, void ABC, which I use in the interview.
Yeah, so now whenever say we don't use any keyword explicitly, so what is the default access specifier?
Default access specifier, this is the same as.
Yeah, so what will be that? Like that will be accessible, it will be public, private, what is it?
No idea, sir, for this.
Yeah. So what happens is when we say default, it is like a package private. So only the members which belong to those package will be able to access it, access the members of those classes which are there in that whole package. But the other packages will not be able to access this members of the classes which are present in this class or this package. Only the packages within those premises will be able to access. Other packages will not be able to enter or to access the members. Okay.
Yes, sir. Adding nothing in all of primary key is to identify a single row in a table. Primary key does not allow the null values, whereas unique key has the null values. And
yeah, so he asked you about the difference between first primary and unique key, I guess, right? So then what is a primary key? You said very correctly that is just to identify the whole number of attributes uniquely, the record uniquely, that is known as a primary key. And a unique key is like identifying it with some unique basis. So primary key cannot have a null value, but a unique key can have null value.
yes, sir.
Correct. So so how many null values are can be there in a table of a unique key constraint? Did you go and search for this?
Yes, sir.
So it is like not more than one, if I am correct. I'm also right now.
Yes, right. So Rajat, for this question you haven't give correct answer. So you have to consider, let's say one column is there, phone number, okay, and phone number is unique key column. You have to forget about rows, it is column for that table, okay. So into that column only single unique single null value is allowed in case of unique key, okay. And if it is a primary key, then you can say not null unique key. Primary key is not nothing but not null unique key. Suppose in simple way you can say only single value is allowed in unique key column and primary key is not null unique key, okay.
Yes,
Got
yes,
it?
yes.
Right now explain it to me right now.
So in unique key, we can have only one null value which is allowed, whereas in primary key there are no null values allowed.
Right, okay. And if we consider for a single table, only one primary key should be there, only one, okay. And
Yes,
in case of unique key we can have as many as, okay.
yes.
Yeah, might be next time or in next interview someone will ask, so that's why I'm provide this information, okay.
Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
Govind, you can continue.
Yeah. So also try to give example, Rajat, like a primary, what is a primary key? So you should take an example of anything, like student class or a student. So student will have student ID or roll number. So roll number is a primary key. Mobile number, uh, and say date of birth, maybe date of time, maybe, or this kind of can be considered as a unique. Like your mobile number will not be everybody cannot be seen, right?
Yes.
So for that you can say that it's a unique key. So like that example you can give. So only mobile number over here can be a unique key. Okay, that you can say.
Mobile number, or you can say email ID, roll number. Then if we consider bank account, then bank account number, vehicle number,
Yes,
like that.
vehicle number can be duplicate, right? You can have.
We can have,
Yeah.
okay, then it is not into that list.
Yeah.
and also in case, okay, continue. Key column, okay, means as many as we
Is all unique. Link two tables together. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
A little bit disturbance happened, but it's okay.
So the foreign key is used to link two tables together. The foreign key is one field. Foreign key is a field in one table that refers to the primary key in another table.
Okay.
So it was like one table's primary key refers to the key in the different table as a foreign key. Okay, this table's primary key becomes the reference. It gives reference to the other key, other table that is called as a foreign key. So with example, if you explain, you will be able to explain it in the correct ways, and which you explained was also correct for the foreign key.
Sir, any example for foreign key?
So you can consider the employee and the department. Okay, so one department can have multiple employees. So it's one-to-many relationship. So when it is one-to-many, that times the department ID will be a primary. It is the primary key for the department, will be a foreign key for the employee.
So Rajat, with this question, we are at end of this interview. Do you have any question for any of us?
Sir, I'd like to ask that what makes you in a professional way, what makes you encourage about working in your organization?
Okay. So actually, while working in organization, there are like many things will happen in our surrounding. So most means interesting thing is
Yeah. So it was a good thing. Okay, that was asked, and so it was really.
actually, Govind, Rajat is facing few internet issues, so that's why he get dropped. So we can end here.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, with this we are at end of this feedback session. Thanks Govind and thanks Rajat. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Amol. Thank you. Bye-bye.